A federal judge rules, listen to this, that Border Patrol agents cannot arrest illegal aliens unless they have a warrant. Oh my God, this is getting insane. Good morning, Kuhner country. Okay, my friends, yesterday we were celebrating Trump's 100 days. And all of the incredible positive achievements and accomplishments. And almost right on cue, baby. You want to know what the problem with the country is? This is now becoming, on one hand, pathetic, outrageous, obviously, almost like a sick prank or joke. It would be funny if the stakes weren't so high and it wasn't so serious. And on the other hand, it now reeks of absolute desperation. And before I even tell you the story, to everybody listening out there, there are a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there is a chunk of Kuhner country that is for some reason very upset at me, very upset at most of this audience, and very upset at Trump for constantly knocking these rogue activist judges. And they keep going on about this is the judiciary. We don't criticize judges, and not in America. They embody the rule of law. And I'm like, no, I don't know where you're getting this from. First of all, judges are not above the law. Number one. Number two, many of them make ridiculous, horrible rulings. And number three, we're not even talking about judges anymore. I mean, after a while, you have to start to see the pattern. We're looking at activists. We are looking at democratic hacks who are masquerading as judges. Just because you put a black robe on someone doesn't mean they actually, follow the law, understand the Constitution. So they somehow equate the rule of judges with the rule of law. And those are two very different things. But anyway, so I know I'm going to hear it. You're criticizing another judge. How dare you? Okay, so listen now to this. You want to see how out of control now elements of the judiciary have become. Unbelievable. That's all. It's just unbelievable. Jeff, this can't be true. Okay, here it is. A judge in the Eastern District of California, a low-level U.S. district judge, appointed by, guess who? Joey, Dementia Joe Biden. Jennifer Thurston ruled now that Customs, and this was yesterday, Customs and Border Protection agents across most of California now, this applies not to the country, thank the Lord, but still to most of California, which is where a lot of our problems with the southern border lay, that it is illegal. She's now issued an injunction preventing Border Patrol agents, listen to this, from either stopping, arresting, or detaining illegal immigrants without a warrant. According to her, this was, by the way, this was a lawsuit by the Marxist, and they're now a full-blown communist organization. There's no question. The Marxist American Civil Liberties Union. And they said that they initiated this lawsuit to defend illegals, especially illegal aliens working as farmers or day laborers in the fields in California. And so they claimed in their lawsuit, listen to this, that the Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, and the Customs and Border Patrol agents were, quote-unquote, racially profiling when they made sweeping ICE raids and border protection raids where they rounded up countless illegal aliens over the span of a week. So according to the ACLU, this was the basis of their lawsuit that this judge has now agreed with, that those were detained by immigration authorities, and they caught hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. As you know, California is a mecca for illegal aliens. It's a notorious sanctuary state. Newsom has done everything in his power to protect them and empower them. So they say, listen to this. They had no right to come in and sweep up illegals and then put them on a bus. I mean, I guess what? You got to put them on a first-class plane ticket, or really? Like, what? You got to fly them first class? What, on a private jet with champagne and caviar? Anyway, that they were detained by immigration authorities, and then, how dare they, take them by bus to the border, and that they were then unable to communicate with family or legal representation, and that by doing this, according to the judge, she said that the Border Patrol had engaged in conduct, here it comes, they're making up rights, that violated well-established constitutional rights. So again, you have these radical left judges who suddenly now say that the Constitution applies to illegal aliens. We don't have the right now to apprehend them. We don't have the right to arrest them. We don't have the right to deport them. We don't have the right to detain them unless we have a specific warrant from a judge. And it gets even worse. According to this clown, Thurston, the Border Patrol now, she's basically running Border Patrol. I'm telling you, they now have to report to her. She's their boss. That they now, every 60 days, they have to lay out detail by detail in a documentation over which illegals are they capturing. Have they arrested them with a warrant or without a warrant? And if they do arrest someone without a warrant, she needs exact justification and reasoning until this lawsuit is resolved. And they must report to her every 60 days, every 2 months. And of course, she does what Democrats always do. They love to do this. They live by this. They die by this. Play the race card. And so, just before she issued her final ruling, quote, this is what I can't believe she said this, but this is how stupid this woman is. Quote, you just can't walk up to people with brown skin and say, quote unquote, give me your papers. She was lecturing the Trump attorneys, the Trump administration lawyers. Now, there are many things. I mean, that you could destroy. I mean, this is so preposterous. I told you it'd be a sick joke if the consequences weren't so high. Number one, Border Patrol is not going around saying, oh, brown skin, papers, where are your papers? Show us your papers. No, they go to work areas or farms where they are known to be hiring illegal aliens, and they will come in, raid the place, try to get documentation from the employer. Which employees do you have that are working illegally? Which are American citizens? And then they round up the illegals and they send them back home. It's been done for 50, 60 years. It was never a problem until Donald Trump came into office. That's number one. Number two, listen now to this. And this is why I think this case is huge. This is sending shockwaves across the entire country. Why? Because literally, there is a specific federal law on the books that expressly authorizes Customs and Border Patrol agents and ICE agents that they can arrest illegal aliens without a warrant based on reasonable suspicion. If illegal aliens, if you see someone crossing the border and you think, yeah, I think this one's running in the middle of the desert, looks like an illegal alien to me, you have the right to arrest them, you have the right to detain them, you eventually have the right to deport them. Of course. How else can they do their jobs? How else tell me, if they have to, hold on, there's someone running in the desert, I don't know who that person, can we get a warrant from the judge? We don't have a name, it's just somebody running in the desert. What she's trying to do is she's trying now to so effectively tie the hands of the Border Patrol to make it impossible to seal and secure our southern border. They want to now reopen the entire U.S.-California border. Now illegals, if this ruling stands, can literally pour across. Another leader of the resistance, the resistance. This time, this is Judge Jennifer Thurston. So I guess she wants to make a few bucks on the book speaking tour. So, out of the Eastern District of California, she's now issued an order, an injunction, banning Border Patrol agents, listen to this, from arresting illegal aliens unless they have a warrant for that person's arrest. Unless they have a warrant. So, they see an illegal crossing the border. Well, we don't even know this person. Well, you got to let them in. I don't know what else to tell you. According to this judge, they pull somebody over for speeding. And suddenly, no parler anglais, no documentation, no ID, no nothing. Let me check. Is this person illegal? No, I can't. I need an arrest warrant. But I don't even know the person's name. It doesn't matter. So, it's an outrageous ruling. Frankly, it's an insane ruling. But just leave that, let that go, as I would like to say. According to Senator Mike Lee, okay? Mike Lee from Utah, who is beside himself on this. He rightly points out this ruling directly violates and contradicts a specific federal law. Again, to all of you out there, and you can call the show, I don't mind having a discussion with you, but to all of you, but this is a judge! We have to bend the knee! How dare you criticize the judge, Kuhner, man? Oh my God, this is so illegal. This is lawless. We have to obey these judges, worship these judges, kiss the ground they walk on. So, 8 U.S.C. 1357, literally, it's there, expressly authorizes Border Patrol to make warrantless arrests for immigration violations, particularly if the person is entering the United States illegally. So, not only does it fly in the face of common sense, established practice and procedure, the ability of the Border Patrol to do their jobs, but literally, this ruling violates, breaks, and flouts federal immigration law. It would be, this is the standard now they're trying to impose. It's literally this. A police officer, a cop, could not pull you over or me over for speeding unless they got a warrant. It's that the same principle. Okay, boom, oh, whoa, wow, and there's the car, pull over. No, under this precedent, this is how insane this is. Okay, I got someone going 90 miles an hour here, Route 93. No, you need a warrant. What? No, you need a warrant. Now, as everybody is pointing out, police, including Border Patrol, have the right under, reasonable suspicion, probable cause to detain someone, to arrest someone. Here, just as an obvious example, police officer pulls me over for speeding, okay? And then he's like, what's that white bag of powder right beside you? Is that cocaine? Excuse me, sir, can you get out of the car? Of course he's got every right, reasonable suspicion, probable cause. Of course he's got every right to pull me out and then inspect the contents and go, yeah, this is cocaine. Arrest the guy. Hello? The overwhelming majority of arrests are without warrants. I mean, this is the stuff of like, I don't know, if we go down this road, this is like Khmer Rouge. Like, we just won't be able to function as a society. So this is how insane this ruling is. So Border Patrol, whoa, we see a pack of them running across the Arizona, or in this case, the California border. The California border, why can't you do anything? I need a warrant. Well, a warrant from whom? I don't know, because I don't know the people that are running across the desert. But they're coming in illegally. Yeah, but I need a warrant. Obviously, it's suspicious. It's probable cause. They didn't show up at a port of entry. I can't see any, from far away, I can't see any documentation on them. They look to me like illegals. According now to this judge, this is, I kid you not, racial profiling and a violation of these. They have constitutional rights the second they step on American soil, breaking into our country. Suddenly now, you need a warrant. Even U.S. citizens, you don't need a warrant. As I just explained to you. You don't need a warrant to pull somebody over for speeding. You pull somebody over for speeding. I don't know. I'm sorry. What's that machete doing right there in your back seat? Whoa. Wait, whoa, is that cocaine? No, in plain view, I can see it. This happens all the time. What is, to me, the scariest thing of all, okay? It's, on the one hand, it's so absurd, you laugh at this. Only a liberal, only a moonbat, only, frankly, a moron, and this woman is a moron, okay, who has clearly no understanding of jurisprudence, no understanding of the law, no understanding of the Constitution, no understanding of reality. I'm sorry, I know, Jeff, Jeff, don't you criticize the judge, Jeff. Jeff, my God, Jeff, hey. Okay? It's almost heresy here, Jeff. No, I know. We live in a judicial dictatorship. What's amazing here, okay? This is what's amazing, is that she's issuing a ruling that openly violates, defies, breaks federal immigration law passed by Congress. She's actively aiding and abetting criminal illegal aliens and usurping the legitimate authority of Congress. So basically what she's saying is, I'm vetoing Congress. I'm vetoing federal immigration law. Nah, I don't like federal immigration law. Out. Chuck it out. You need a warrant to arrest any illegal. Don't you touch an illegal without an arrest warrant. This is not just a rogue judge. It's that, but it's more. This is a criminal judge. This is a criminal judge. You aid and abet illegal aliens. It's time now. Enough is enough. Where is Congress? Really, let me sum it up for you in 10 seconds. Allow the illegals to keep pouring in across the border. In other words, unseal the border. And you can't deport a single one of them, unless you have a warrant from a judge to even arrest them. I mean, that gets in, but still, there's going to be lawyers involved. They're going to have appeals. So essentially, flood the country with illegals, according to this judge, and then you can barely arrest any of them. And if you do, you're lucky if you deport maybe 10 over 4 years. So now they want to reintroduce Biden's open borders, but through judicial fiat. So let me say the quiet part out loud. This is a judicial coup d'etat. That's what this is. A judicial coup by a group of rogue, far-left, Democrat activist hacks posing as judges. That's what, and now it's not going to go anywhere. I'm telling you this right now. My advice to Trump: ignore it and just keep going. Just ignore it. Ignore it. Don't even appeal it. Ignore it. Let her and her people, let the ACLU appeal. Let them spend the money. Let them take it all the way to the Supreme Court. Because I'm telling you, the Supreme Court's going to laugh in her face. No sane country, no sane judge, no sane justice is suddenly going to turn around and say, well, you can't do anything to an illegal unless you have an arrest warrant. Then literally you're paralyzed. You can't detain, deport, stop any illegal from entering our country or from being deported from our country. Another activist judge, this is what I find incredible, wants to protect criminal illegals. Another one. So what should Trump do? You know what I think, but I want to hear from you. Is it finally time for Congress to act? Is it time for the Attorney General to act? Is it time now for the Supreme Court to finally say, knock this garbage off? I want to hear from you. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, 636 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. Lines are jammed. Dave, our Western PA constitutionalist correspondent. You're up first, Dave. You're going to kick us off in Western Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh. Dave, what say you, my friend?
Good morning, Jeff. That was a mouthful. Thank you, sir. I can hear you, Jeff, like we say in the military. I can hear you loud and clear. Lima Charlie. Hey, Jeff, to all those brain-dead liberals like the Bills and Sudburys and the Franks and Gloucester, why don't you shut the soup cooler on your face, to quote the great Dan the Man Bongino, all right? Shut the hole on your face. And this judge, Jeff, just like Terry Moron from yesterday, Jeff, I actually got it in, buddy. Terry, the moron from all bullcrap news, and this judge, you need to go back. Jeff, you know what? I'm going to pull a number on them. We need to send them to re-education camps, but to show them the Constitution, not the constellation, my friend.
Dave, are you... But you're very funny, by the way, calling Terry Moran from ABC News Terry Moron. And I think, Dave, can I use all bullcrap news, ABC News? I love that. That's good. Can I poach that from you, or are you patenting that?
Jimmy, buddy, we're the World Tag Team Champions, brother, to quote the Road Warriors in the wrestling metaphor. But, Jeff, it's NBC is nothing but crap. See the BS like Russ coined, and NPR is National Punk Radio. And to quote the great Michael Savage, your mentor and my mentor, the Old York Slime. And the Washington compost, Jeff.
Dave, I'm just curious, buddy. All kidding aside, are you shocked at the, I don't know what to say, at the arrogance, at the brazenness, at the illegality? Are you just shocked that this judge would issue such an outrageous ruling? And the liberals are celebrating it. This is incredible. Dave, are you surprised?
A little bit of both, Jeff. I'm shocked because we're living in this time. But, of course, you know, and again, I'm going to get theological for a minute, Jeff. It was all predicted in the book of Revelation. Second of all, Jeff, for the liberals to celebrate this. But, Jeff, they're a lot smarter than us. They got their college degree from a Cracker Jack box, Jeff. You know, they always claim they're so much smarter, right? Oh, I got my degree in flipping manhole covers and basket weaving, and I want somebody to pay, somebody to pay for it for me, like average Joe John Q. citizen, but I'm smarter than you. Jeff, it's like in my field. I get these welders coming out of Triangle Tech in Pittsburgh, and, Jeff, they work hard to get their papers. But as far as I'm concerned, Jeff, I'm not saying I'm better than them. I've been in the field for over 30 years. I never went to welding school. I learned in the shop, Jeff. They come in here. I said, you can use your papers as rolling papers. I said, you need to shut your mouth and listen. I don't care if you got a doctorate in welding. You need to shut your pie hole and listen and learn from. I've learned from the best. So therefore, I want to train the best. You know what I mean, Jeff? I shut my soup cooler and I learned, Jeff.
Dave, God bless you, my friend. And you're dead on.
Thanks, Jeff.
God, thank you, Dave. No, that's what I mean. Look, this is not a judge. This is a Biden hack who he's stuck on the judiciary to do Biden's dirty work to sabotage Trump. That's what this is. This is not a serious judge. No serious judge makes this kind of a ruling. Can you imagine? And notice, police, look again, look at the rights they're giving illegals. They're giving illegals rights that you and I don't have. And I'm not saying we should have them. Look, if a police officer, just to give an example, hears yelling, screaming, shouting, just imagine a domestic dispute. Gun, you're going to shoot me, gun. He doesn't need a warrant to go in and see what's going on. Reasonable suspicion, probable cause. Why'd you go in? Well, you heard yelling and screaming, and it seemed like the guy was beating his wife. And then she was yelling, gun. He's going to shoot me. So what am I going to do? Call a judge? Wake him up at home? And then she's dead? No, I had to make a move. I had to make a split-second decision. Probable cause. I went in. No judge, no court worth its salt would say, well, you didn't get the warrant from the judge. You had no right going into that apartment with them yelling and screaming and shouting and stuff being thrown. And I'm just giving one small example. And that's Senator Mike Lee's point. That's everybody's point. Most arrests are without a warrant, obviously. So now I see someone crossing the border with no paperwork. I can't arrest them. I mean, the whole world now can come in. It's not going to stand. I'm telling you, it's not going to stand. But if this thing stands, the whole world's coming. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, obviously I want to go right back to the phone lines, but just very quickly. So as you can tell on my voice, Kuhner Man's been sick all week. And I just went yesterday. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. So I went to the doctor, and I definitely have bronchitis. I got a lung infection. In fact, both my lungs appear to be infected. But they're concerned I may have pneumonia. And so I had to get a chest x-ray. And anyway, long story short, I'm going to find out today whether I have pneumonia. They already have me on pretty serious antibiotics. And I've been powering through Monday show, Tuesday show. Yesterday was I don't know how I got through yesterday's show. So anyway, long story short, I've been doing the show from home. Okay. Normally I do it from the studio in our iHeart building in Medford. But this week, because I'm sick, and did I have COVID? People weren't sure. Did I have the flu? So Sandy and Mike were like, stay home. We don't want to have what you have. We don't want to get what you have. So I've been doing the show from home. Well, just last segment, I'm, talking with Dave from Pennsylvania. And who comes into my office downstairs, my studio downstairs, but Ashton? Right in the middle of the segment. Why would you wait? I mean, he's still got another hour before he goes to school. Why would you wait until commercial so you don't interrupt the show? No. He opens the door like he owns the place. Comes on in. I look at him like, what are you doing? I'm live on the air. Like my eyes are flashing. Like, what are you doing? And he just gives me this casual, like, wave. And he gives me a quick kiss, like hand to mouth, like this. Hi, Dad. But say hi, and then he waves. And he goes, and then he grabs his Chromebook, which I guess he forgot downstairs in in our basement here, and then just walks out, and he doesn't even close the door. I'm like, hey, Ashton. No, hey, listen. Hey, no. Hey, Ashton, I don't want to get in your way, Ashton. Hey, Ashton, hey, I'm just the old man who's got to put a show together to put food on the table. No, I don't want to disrupt you, Ashton. No, hey, it's okay. Why would you close the door so we don't have noise from upstairs coming into the studio down here and seep onto the air? It's incredible. I go, Mike, these kids, they don't respect their father, for God's sake. Mike is like, you gotta show them who's boss, Jeff. You gotta lay down the law. I think so. I think he wants to be a judge. Honest to God, I'm thinking Ashton wants to become a rogue activist judge. That's ultimately his calling in life. I'll just do whatever I want. Blank you, blank you, blank you, blank everybody. I do what I want. I make it up as I go along. Okay. Let me ask all of you. It is the Kuhner Country poll question of the day, sponsored by Kelly Financial Services. Oh, you're right. Sorry. See, the pneumonia's kicking in. Thanks for catching me. Sponsored by Mario's. My bad. Mario's Quality Roofing, Siding, and Windows. Should rogue activist judges, like this judge, Jennifer Thurston, should this rogue activist judge, and should these rogue activist judges be arrested? A, yes. B, no. I would love for as many of you to vote on this issue, Kuhner Country, to really get a sense of the temperature and the sentiment out there. You can vote at our website, wrko.com/Kuhner, wrko.com/Kuhner, Kuhn as in national ER. You can also vote via X. Again, I was active on X, sick as I was. I managed to get a couple of good tweets out. So I'm always active on X. My handle there, at the Kuhner Report, all one word, Kuhn as in national ER. A judge, Jennifer Thurston, low-level district judge, has now issued an order banning all Border Patrol ICE agents from arresting illegal aliens unless they have a warrant. If you can believe it. No warrant, you can't touch them. Can't detain them, can't arrest them, and certainly you can't deport them. Even though, I want to stress this, it openly flouts, violates, and breaks federal immigration law. 8 U.S.C. 1357 that expressly authorizes Border Patrol agents to arrest illegal aliens or detain them without a warrant. So now they can just nullify law passed by Congress? Just like this? Now, if this stands, I'm telling you it's not. Okay, this is going to be laughed out of court. I think the Supreme Court's going to go 9-0 on this one. I'd be shocked if even one of those liberal justices backs this one, because this will lead to anarchy, complete and utter anarchy. But let that go. This, if it's allowed to stand, you can't hold illegals, you can't stop illegals, you can't arrest illegals. It will unleash the floodgates. And to me, the bigger issue is this. Should judges now have the right to assert their will over the president, over Congress, over the Constitution, over expressly written law, over the American people, and over the voters? I say this is a judicial dictatorship, a judicial coup d'etat in order now to sabotage and destroy Trump and his agenda. And if you're going to openly aid and abet criminals as she's doing, and you're going to openly flout and break the law, no one is above the law, including this judge. Arrest her ass. But that's me. 617-266-6868. Paul in Quincy. Thanks for holding, Paul, and welcome.
Hey, Jeff. Thank you for taking my call. I hope you're feeling better.
The antibiotics are starting to kick in, Paul. By the weekend, they say I should feel better. So I just got a couple more days of this, Paul.
Well, I'm praying for you. Hey, you know, all this is ridiculous. I don't understand why, if the bleeding heart liberals really gave a damn about the illegal immigrants that are here in this country, then why didn't under the Biden administration they just grant amnesty to all the illegals here in the country? It would have solved all these problems, you know? But I think the answer to that is they really don't care, because the money they make off of illegal immigrants every day in this country is astronomical. I mean, you yourself, Jeff, you came here legally. How expensive was it for you to obtain your U.S. citizenship? And that was years and years ago. I bet it's tripled, if not quadrupled now. You know, we get these people that come here, work for cheap. They'll never be able to collect Social Security or get any of the other benefits that we all pay into. You know, why make them legal? It's just a ruse to try to, you know, mess up Trump's administration and stuff like that. And it's a joke, really, in my opinion.
Well, you're right, Paul. Look, they like the status quo because the status quo enriches and empowers them. Remember, the Democratic Party now is owned by Wall Street. They're owned by big money. They're owned by corporate America. And what big business wants is cheap labor. And that's what illegals provide. Cheap labor. And they also provide votes. Now we know, thanks to Doge, one of the biggest scandals uncovered by Doge is that they have caught millions and millions of illegal aliens using fake Social Security numbers. And then the Democrats were not just enrolling and registering them to vote, but they actually have the receipts that they were voting in the last several elections. So it's cheap labor and it's cheap votes, and it's done in the shadows. And that's what they like. That's what they want. And you know, what I just find really chilling is, think about what this judge is saying. What this judge is saying is an MS-13 gangbanger, a Trinidad murderer, hell, an ISIS terrorist, can come across the border, and if you don't get an express warrant, which is you can't because you don't know the person, you can't provide a name, you can't provide an address, they're just coming across the border, then you have to let them come in. You are powerless to stop, arrest, detain, deport. You can't do anything. So literally, they are willing to allow the scum of the earth, the most brutal, evil people on the planet, to pour into our country. How many Americans will be killed, raped, how many children molested and violated? They don't care. This is not a person that's fit to be on a judiciary. This is not a judge. This is not a judge. I don't even think this is a human being, if you want to know the truth. So, look, this out-of-control judiciary has been a cancer on our country now for many decades, and I think it's reached critical. I mean, it's like we're at a critical point. And look, to me, when you have cancer, you use chemo. Or you go under the knife and you excise and try to remove the cancer. But you've got to attack that cancer. Because if you don't, that cancer will kill you. And that's now, I think, if there is a constitutional crisis, this is it. And I think now Trump has to come out swinging. He has, but even more. Pam Bondi, where that woman is, I'd love to know. She's got to come out swinging. she's got to tell these judges, stand down, we're going to arrest you. Like, this is enough. I'm not talking just Dugan for, smuggling an illegal alien outside of her courthouse. I'm talking about you don't have the right to use the law to overturn existing law and to literally allow this country to become a safe haven for the most dangerous elements and gangsters in the world. I'm sorry, no one gave you that kind of power. You want to live in a dictatorship? Go to Russia. By the way, even in Russia, they wouldn't let you do this. Go to China. Go to other places. But this is not America. This is America. So just because you put on a black robe doesn't suddenly now give you all powerful, dictatorial powers. A black robe doesn't make you a king or a queen. I know it's going to upset people. I know, Jeff, you're attacking a judge. Oh my God, Jeff. Oh, I'm scared. I'm sorry. These aren't judges, and they remove them from the bench. I think she should be arrested. Excuse me? You are in direct violation of law? Literally, you are asking for the opposite of what is actual law. And you're going to aid and abet the invasion of our country? And criminal after criminal after criminal? Nah. You know what? You're aiding and abetting criminals. Bye. You see, it's the liberal arrogance. This is what I find. In fact, let me just play a clip, okay? It's slightly off topic, but trust me, it's all comes to the same point. So, this is the boy mayor of Jacob Fry. Okay, the guy looks like he's 12. I don't know, what is he now, 31, 32? Anyway, the Moonbat Sanctuary City mayor of Minneapolis. So, he's on Fox 9 in, Minneapolis, a local Fox affiliate. Now, he's asked about Judge Dugan, and he's asked about illegal aliens. Now, listen to what he says, because what he says is exactly the thinking of Michelle Wu or of Kathy Hochul or of the mayor of Chicago or of Gavin Newsom or of Democrats, of Tim Walz, obviously the governor of Minnesota. This is what liberals believe. Roll cut 8, Mike.
I'll tell you, it is very concerning when you have a federal administration going in to arrest someone from the judicial branch. We've got a separation of powers, and that separation is there for a very important reason. Legislatures pass laws, the executive branch carries those laws out, the judicial branch interprets those laws. And when someone who is in charge of interpreting law is arrested by a federal administration, this is no small deal. We need to be very keenly aware of what's happening around us right now, because this is not a partisan issue. This kind of thing can be a threat to the whole republic. And so, yeah, of course, it's very concerning. And in Minneapolis, again, we care about our neighbors. These are people that have lived here in many cases for decades. These are residents. They work here. They got kids here. And here they're not illegal aliens. They are our neighbors, and we care about them. Love them.
Okay, here they're not illegal aliens. You see, here in Minneapolis, they're not illegal aliens. They're our neighbors. They're our residents. They're our friends. No, they are illegal aliens. Notice, willy-nilly. He just literally flipped their status. Like, they're U.S. citizens. They're residents. They're legal residents. On what authority? I'm sorry, what? On what authority? The city of Minneapolis is not a country. Immigration matters are a federal prerogative. Immigration is federal. Federal law determines immigration, not cities, not states. You can't just declare, because you're the mayor of Minneapolis, here, they're not illegal. No, they are illegal. Now, I just stand back just because I go back to this judge. It's the same thinking. It's the same kind of radical Marxist liberal thinking. It's this liberal arrogance. And they all have it. And I don't know where they get it from. But that they can personally veto law. But just because they personally feel, I disagree with that law. I don't like it. I think it's unfair. I don't like it. I think it's unjust. I don't agree with it. So what? You can negate it? Your personal feeling just automatically trumps the law of the land? And that's what liberals have become. And this leads to anarchy. It leads to chaos. It leads to a complete breakdown of society. By the way, Minneapolis is one of the fastest collapsing cities in the entire country. Right up there with Chicago, Boston, Portland, Seattle. I mean, this guy is turning Minneapolis into a third world hellhole overnight, exactly by this kind of thinking. But notice, no, here they're not illegal. Now, that judge is basically saying the same thing. No, the moment they cross into California, they're not illegal. Suddenly, no, they're Americans. What do you mean? They have all the constitutional protections of every single American. You mean they break into our country, violate our law, the moment they step on our soil after breaking our country, suddenly now you need a warrant to arrest them? Yeah. I mean, they literally put their own personal feelings above the law of the land. They believe they have a right to personally veto the law. I mean, their arrogance, it's pathological. I'm telling you, it's pathological. I've never seen anything like this. So now, this is a Frankenstein's monster. And either you rein this thing in now, or I'm telling you, we're in trouble. I mean, we're in big trouble. Because once you start interpreting this law, and I don't like this law, and I don't like that law, and I'm not going to follow this law, and you're a third world banana republic. And fast. I mean fast. It doesn't take more than a couple of years. You don't like the law, you change the law. Okay, and by the way, just for the record, Dugin was not arrested because she was interpreting the law. She was arrested because she obstructed an ICE procedure, an ICE arrest of a criminal illegal alien, and she illegally smuggled him out of the courtroom. That's why she was arrested, ding dong. So, again, either we have a country or we don't have a country. Either we have a border or we don't have a border. And what this Thurston judge, this Judge Jennifer Thurston, is saying is, we don't have a country, we don't have a border. Hell, we don't even have federal immigration law. Because blank you, here's the middle finger. No, I don't care what the law says. I can personally veto the law. Arrest her ass. CJ in Boston. Thanks for holding, CJ, and welcome.
Can you hear me, Jeff?
I can hear you loud and clear, buddy. Let her rip.
Well, don't worry too much about catching pneumonia disease. You don't catch is what these Democrats are spreading around. But having said that, Jeff, this judge needs to be arrested. If she's violating federal law, she needs to be arrested.
617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, very quick reset. I want to go right back to CJ. Jennifer Thurston, that's the name of the judge. Thurston. You look it up for yourself, please. I don't want you to think I'm making this up. I mean, this is such an outrageous ruling. A U.S. district judge has now issued an order, a preliminary injunction, banning Border Patrol agents, all Border Patrol agents in California, from arresting suspected illegal aliens unless they have a warrant. You can't. No, it's not a spoof. It's not The Onion. It's not the Babylon Bee. And she's as serious as a heart attack. And what's even crazier is the liberal media, the Democrats, are praising this ruling. Ay, ay, ay. 617-266-6868. Okay, let's go right back to CJ. CJ, hopefully we fix the connection issues. Go ahead. The floor is yours, my friend.
What I was saying is what I think Pam Bondi should do is arrest this judge for obstruction and violating federal law. Then have the judge go to court and explain her actions. That's what the Trump administration needs to do with all of these judges, Jeff. This is nothing new. I mean, they have lost the black vote. They have lost the Hispanic vote. So now they're turning to these illegals again. And that's going to fail. Look at the bright side. There's a silver lining in this. These actions by these judges are just ruining the Democratic brand. Americans are seeing what the Democratic Party stands for. But the question that has been spoken about many times but has never been resolved is the question is whether the Constitution applies to American citizens or anyone who breaks our laws and crosses over our borders illegally. I firmly believe that the Constitution applies only to the citizens of the United States of America. But this is going on. It's continual. As you know, we have a problem here in Boston where Michelle Wu is up for re-election, and in 2021, she accepted $300,000 from a member of the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, what is the incentive for the Chinese Communist Party to give a candidate running for the mayoral candidacy of the city of Boston $300,000? I mean, where's Pam Bondi on this one? I mean, could that be the reason why the mayor of the city of Boston is defiant in defending her actions to defend illegal aliens and illegal criminals in the city of Boston? Pam Bondi needs to start making massive arrests of elected officials and judges throughout this country. Because, as you say, no one is above the law. And they should have to answer to the law. They should have to answer to their actions, to not only the people of this country, but to the people that they represent. And as your boy from Philadelphia called in, you want to know if you wanted to use something that he had said to you, basically identifying the mainstream.
CJ, before I let you go, I want to ask you this, because I agree with you, not 100, but 1,000%. But just to play devil's advocate, what do you say to the argument? Because this is what Pam Bondi, to be fair to her, is being told in private. Trump's being told this in private. His DOJ is being told in private. You start arresting these judges, and we're not talking about the Dugans of the world, okay? But even Dugan, look at the the outrage. Look at the public firestorm it ignited. But if you start going after judges for their rulings, no matter how outrageous, how abusive, how unconstitutional, that they're going to come after him with the label dictator. That if you start saying she ruled X, Y, and Z, now we're going to go after her and put her in handcuffs. This is Hitler. This is fascism. What do you say to that argument?
I say to the 77+ million people that voted for Donald J. Trump, they have to recognize that these judges are a threat to the national security of the United States of America, and they must be removed from public office. That's what I have to say about it, Jeff. And they have to be removed immediately from public office. They have become a threat to the national security of the United States of America. And they know full well that they cannot overstep the executive authority of the branch of government and the executive authority that Donald J. Trump holds. So he should take the appropriate action to remove these judges and to notify the citizens of this country that these rogue judges, just as these domestic terrorists are, just as these people are who are coming in illegal to the United States of America, that these judges are a greater threat to the democracy and to the stability of our country because they are on the bench, they are wearing a robe, and they are dictating law in this country. But Jeff, I thought that there was a bill right now, presently, that the House has passed and is being held up in the Senate, which restricts the jurisdiction in which a circuit court judge or district judge can have their authority not send out federal orders throughout the country.
That's right. No, you're completely right. And John Thune, what's he doing? I don't know. But look, CJ, good news. Thune gave an interview yesterday, and he's saying he can get us the tax bill, Trump's big, beautiful bill, by July 4th, CJ. He says July 4th. I think we can do it by July 4th. So, I mean, for him, he thinks July 4th. I'm like, boy, geez, hey, I don't want you to fast track this. So he thinks by getting Trump's signature bill by July 4th, he thinks he's moving, like at warp speed. So that's John Thune, CJ. Congress is useless. No, worse than useless. CJ, thank you very much for that call. Standing against the tide. That's holy mackerel. So, a California district judge, Jennifer Thurston, appointed by Joey, Dementia Joe, has now come out with one of the most outrageous rulings in recent memory. She now has ordered Border Patrol agents that she's preventing them. She is banning them from arresting, detaining, holding, deporting, everything, illegal aliens, unless they have a warrant. And not only can they not arrest or detain suspected illegal alien criminals without a warrant, but they have to report to her Border Patrol does. She's basically now the head of Border Patrol, that every 60 days, who they've arrested, did they have a warrant, did they not have a warrant, and if they didn't use a warrant, they have to specifically, in detail, justify and explain to her why this illegal alien was either pulled over or arrested or detained, and she may decide whether it was a proper arrest, an improper arrest, maybe, I don't know, get the person fired. Who knows? She's basically now usurped the role of Border Patrol chief, at least for the Eastern District of California, which it's the biggest district in California, and it covers most of the California the California-Mexico border. So, in other words, unleash the floodgates. You can't prevent illegals from coming in. Even if you suspect they're illegals, you can't pull them over. You can't arrest them. You can't detain them. You can't do anything. Now, a couple of points, okay? Very quick, because I want to go to the phone lines. This is from Larry on Messenger. And Larry makes a great point. So, Jeff, according to her, because you can't arrest people without a warrant. So if a male judge takes a witness into chambers and sexually assaults them, they can't be arrested? Well, yeah, according to her logic. Now, really, think about how insane this is. I'm being raped. I need a warrant. But you can hear her yelling and screaming, get in there. It's called probable cause, reasonable suspicion. Go. No, I need a warrant from a judge. Here, Larry continues. If a female judge has a bad day, and shoots her bailiff. She's untouchable? Well, son of a bay. Trump, he just deported another member of Nicaragua. I've had it. Lock and load, baby. And picks on a bit. I'm coming for you, and aims the gun. Boom, shoots the bailiff. And the bailiff is on the ground. Arrest her. I need a warrant. No, she just shot somebody. Arrest her. I'm sorry, I can't. Well, according to this judge, my hands are tied. I need a warrant. Get the warrant, and I'll arrest the judge. Do you see how insane this is? I mean, do you see how utterly insane? Now, again, to be fair, she's just saying that this principle, if you can call it that, applies to illegal aliens. But imagine if we applied it to everybody, to the whole society. It would be complete anarchy. I mean, it literally would lead to a social breakdown. You couldn't arrest anybody for anything. Loco, she's crazy. Jeff, don't criticize the judge. Well, hey, that's what it means to live under judicial tyranny and judicial dictatorship. Okay, one more because I want to go to the phone lines. By the way, 617-266-6868 is the number. This is from Marianne in Florida. And, she makes a very interesting point, as always. Jeff, when I read this story yesterday, I couldn't roll my eyes far enough back into my head for the stupidity of this district judge. But is it really stupidity? That's the question. If it is, every single judge in this country needs to do what healthcare professionals, Marianne is a healthcare professional, just that all of you know, to do what healthcare professionals have to do every year regarding knowing what's new in healthcare and to prove that they are up to date, meaning take courses, take tests, to prove they know the newest and latest laws and regulations. I don't know if that's something judges have to do when it comes to immigration and immigration laws. Do you know if judges have to do this, Jeff? However, is this judge just trying to make herself famous like Judge Boasberg? It seems like that might be the case with all of this BS, because judges can't be this ignorant of the law. Can they? Can they? And Jeff, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to say it again until I am hopefully proven wrong. Pam Bondi is out of her league, and I pray to God she proves me wrong. I don't think Pam Bondi's out of her league. I think Pam Bondi is just reluctant, afraid, whatever word you want to use, to be thrust into a massive public firestorm. You will become... Notice, the media has not done a single hit piece on Pam Bondi. That's very telling. Because they don't see her as a threat. They see Trump as a threat. They see Rubio as a threat. They see J.D. Vance as a threat. They see Pete Hegseth as a threat. They see Elon Musk as a threat. You can tell by who they're always viciously attacking. They haven't done one hit piece on her that I'm aware of. Not one. And if they did, it was one, because maybe I missed that one single piece. But outside, they've ignored her because they think she's got no teeth. And, look, ask Pete Hegseth, ask Elon, ask Trump, ask JD to be constantly vilified, demonized, assaulted, mocked, ridiculed, threatened every day, every day, every day, every day. It's hard. It's really hard. It's the most unpleasant experience in the world. A lot of people don't want it, and I understand. But then don't be Attorney General. Be a contributor on Fox News, be whatever you want to do, okay? But that's the nature of the job. And I think she just doesn't want to become public enemy number one. I think that's what it is. It's not that she's out of her league or out of her depth. She's smart, experienced. She knows what she's doing. It's just, do you want to suffer the consequences? It's the blowback from the media and the Democrats. Now, by the way, the judge knows the law. This judge knows she's violating 8 U.S.C. 1357. She knows it. She doesn't care. That's why now the Attorney General, and I think honestly the Supreme Court needs to step in. Roberts has got to get off his fat ass. I'm sorry. And say, hey, look, you can't just make stuff up as you go along here. You have an obligation, as Samuel Alito said in his dissent, you've got to follow the law as well. The president does, of course. Congress does, of course. But just because you wear a black robe doesn't mean you have a magic wand. Doesn't make you emperor for El Duce for life. Emperor for life. And if you're not going to follow the law, then I'm sorry, there's going to be serious penalties. Starting with, you're going to be removed from the bench. And in some cases, if you're going to obstruct federal law, and that's what she's doing now, she's obstructing federal immigration law. And if you're going to aid and abet criminals, a robe it's not a get out of jail free card. It doesn't give you impunity. We're going to put your ass in jail. Period. Full stop. Enough. So honestly, it's not just Pam Bondi, to be fair to her. I think the Supreme Court needs to step in. I think Roberts in particular needs to step in. And ultimately, Congress. Congress can settle this and resolve this like this, the snap of a finger. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, cleaning up the liberal bull. 617-266-6868. Okay, lines are blazing. Dave in Revere. Thanks for holding, Dave, and welcome.
Yeah. Jeff.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing, Jeff? Jeff, how can they get away with this? It's like they're going to let every illegal just keep on waltzing in here like they're in Peter Pan land someplace. And at the same time, my retirement, Jeff, just for instance, this is a situation. I finally get my retirement. Then they start my retirement saying that I owe them money from who knows what year, 2024. They start my retirement, Jeff. I go get my taxes done. They say I owe taxes that I never paid for. Jeff, we're the ones paying the taxes on all this free money we're giving away. And at the same time, Jeff, what are we getting for it? We pay taxes every damn day of the week. Every time we wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's like we're going to just let this keep going on. That so-called judge needs to be taken away, put in jail, take every other judge illegally, put them in jail. Jeff, if I'm walking down the street, if I'm being harassed by a police officer, and if I say something, I get arrested right there on the spot. They don't have a warrant on them, Jeff, to arrest me. If I get police harassment and I'm sticking up for my own rights because I'm sick and tired of it, and I'll say a few different words, and I'll tell them where to go in a half a minute. I'm going to court the same day with no bail, Jeff. So it's like, who's going to be arrested, Jeff? Am I going to go to jail because I give a cop a finger because he's up in my face? It's like, Jeff, enough's enough. Get these no good judges out of here. Put them in jail for a while because I'm sure that there's a lot of people in jail who would like to take these judges for a ride.
Well, Dave, you really, as usual, you put your finger right on it. They can, again, to U.S. citizens, You can be arrested for all sorts of things. They don't need a warrant. But look, they're trying to give all of these extra rights and protections to illegals that you, me, any other American, any other green card holder, any other legal resident, anyone else would never have. It's just, I've never seen. They're trying to create a special class, a privileged class for these illegals. And you're right. Look, it'll just take one or two. It won't take much. Put one or two in the can, put them behind bars, and man, will they get the message. Oh, that'll change their tune overnight. But you got to be willing to do it. And so far, no one is willing to do it. Dave, as always, thank you very much for that call. No, and I don't mean what they did with Judge Dugan. You're aiding and abetting an illegal to escape ICE. I mean, they come out with this ridiculous ruling which violates and flouts the law. I'm sorry, no. You're not going to do this anymore. You're not here. And same thing with these sanctuary city mayors and these sanctuary state governors. No, you are openly violating federal immigration law. And you are frustrating and obstructing the ability of ICE to arrest illegals. You are aiding and abetting criminals. You're part of the problem. I can't aid and abet a criminal. You can't. I can't give safe harbor to a criminal and say, oh, my house is a sanctuary house. There's no such definition in the law. You can't just make it up. I can't just say, hey, my house is a sanctuary house, okay? So you want to deal drugs? You can do it in my house. Whatever. You want to rape? You can do it in my house. No. I would be arrested as well for aiding and abetting criminal behavior, as I should. So why are these mayors any different? Why are these judges any different? 617-266-6868. Angelo in Rockland. Thanks for holding, Angelo, and welcome.
I think I figured out what's going on with Thurston. I think her father was Thurston Howell III from Gilligan's Island. But hey, on a serious note, I think they're way out of control. They're throwing as much crap on the wall to see that what could stick to keep it going. But everybody's on the same page. Everybody that's in here illegally has to be dealt with, and those who are abating and making them get away with murder, basically get away with murder, have to be dealt with. It's unbelievable. I always say that, how these judges are ruling. They think they got so much power they can just make laws as they go. They can supersede the government. And hopefully the RNC and Bondi get on the horse and start doing what they have to do, because these people will kick without legs, and they gotta be dealt with. I mean, it's really, really, really unbelievable. But we're making progress. You see the news that they won't report on. America's doing great. We got a little stall in the trading and stuff, but that'll get going. And then we're going to be rolling good. But hopefully Trump's still in office to see the benefits of what he's doing, because that would be a shame if he wasn't. So
I think by the end of the summer, Angelo, I'm with you all the way. I think this economy is going to boom by the end of the summer. If they can just get that bill passed, to me, July 4th is ridiculous, but still, fine. Okay. July 4th. Just sit by July 4th. Have the president sign it on July 4th. And you watch. Mark my words, Angelo. You can hold me to it. By the end of August or September, this economy is going to boom. Boom. It's going to skyrocket. So I think Trump will be enjoying a lot of the fruits of his policies very, very soon. Not 2, 3, 4 years. I'm talking months. Angelo, thank you very much for that call. No, look, here, just to put it on a micro level. Okay, take it away from the macro, the border, illegals. An illegal alien is a squatter. That's what an illegal alien is. An illegal alien is as if somebody broke into your home. Our country is our homeland. It's our collective home. Okay? So they're breaking into our country. So imagine a person, a squatter, breaks into your home. And then all of a sudden, judges or Democrats say, well, they have every right now to live in your home. And you're like, what? On what planet? Well, no. Not only do they have every right to live in your home, and by the way, they're entitled to your food. They're entitled to your bed. They're entitled to your bathroom, your shower. They're entitled to your medicine cabinet, i.e. free health care. They're entitled to all of that. And you have to work and pay for this person. But not only that, they now have quote-unquote due process. You're like, what? Yeah. If you want to get rid of them, oh, no, you can't just call the police or, God forbid, do it yourself. No. They have the right to a lawyer. They have the right to appeal. No. And if a judge rules they have the right to stay in your home, then you're going to stay in your home. They're going to stay in your home. And there's nothing you can do about it. Now, let me ask you, is that fair? Is that just? Is that right? Under what political law, under what political system, under what moral or ethical system is this right? That's illegal immigration. That's open borders. That's globalism. By the way, I would call it an invasion, wouldn't you? Someone breaks into your home and then decides to live there against your will. And many of them have guns. Many of them are, they murder, they kill, they rape. So if somebody comes into your home and assaults your wife and rapes your daughter and is dealing drugs out of your home and eating out of your fridge and sleeping in your bed, what Trent or Aragua was doing, say, at those apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado, okay? If they did that to each and every one of our homes, that's what they're doing to our country. And the guy that says, whoa, no, you have the right to protect your home. You have the right to protect your family. You have the right to protect your property. You have the right to decide if someone knocks on your door, whether you have the right to let them in or not. They don't have the right to just come into your home and take what they want. And he's the bad guy. This guy's become Hitler. He's Hitler for defending, literally, the most basic principle in the history of humanity, self-preservation. It's your home. It's not the illegal's home, or in this case, the squatter's home. You have the right to defend yourself, your wife, your husband, your spouse, your children, your property, your home. It's yours. And that's what we're seeing right now. They're attacking the fundamental principle that we are not allowed to be a country, a homeland with borders and sovereignty. And they're trying to give these people rights that you and I don't have. Notice, we can't squat in anyone else's house, but they can squat in our home. We're not entitled to free food and free, medical and health care and we're not entitled to that. I can't go to my neighbor's house and say, hey, here you're having a great barbecue. Kuhner man's here. Put a couple steaks on the Barbie, baby. He'd be like, get the hell out of here. Who invited you? I can't do it. You can't do it, but they can do it? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. No. The answer is no. Let me just quickly read this, because I think it sums up the sentiments of many of you out there. You can text the Kuhner Man, by the way, 70470. 70470. This This is from 603. Jeff, just as the Kuhner man has said, quote, this ruling flouts written law, unquote. And just as the Kuhner man has also said in the past, quote, a lot of these judges don't even have a law degree to know the law in the first place, unquote. So the easy answer is this. The Trump administration needs to tell this leftist activist judge to go piss up a rope. Full stop. That's the answer. Piss off. Really, I'm telling you, piss off. Piss off. Your ruling is a joke. You're a joke. Bye. And keep going. Now, I would prefer arrest and say this is illegal, aiding and abetting criminal behavior. This is obstructing federal law enforcement. You're literally trying to prevent Border Patrol agents from doing their job and keeping the public and the people safe. So we're going to arrest your ass. But at a bare minimum, ignore, blank off. You don't like it, you go appeal. We're not appealing. You're appealing. Agree, disagree. Mike, where do you want me to go to next? Maria in Ludlow. Thanks for holding, Maria, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Well, I mean, I'm battling pneumonia.
Oh,
but outside of that,
good.
But outside of that, well, I mean, I got the antibiotics. I took some yesterday and this morning, so I'm starting to feel a little better. But no, outside of that, Maria, and, you know, would it kill my kids to listen to Daddy once in a while? So anyway, outside of those two things, I'm good.
With organic raw honey and lemon. That's very helpful.
Oh, okay. I may try that.
Yes, it's very helpful. Yeah, I got a teenager at home. She's a senior in high school. Yeah, I got one of those.
Boy, they develop an attitude, huh?
Yeah.
Have you noticed, Maria? They're the boss. Suddenly, you're like, since when did you become the boss?
Yeah, I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing.
That's right. They know everything. You know nothing.
That's right. She reminded me, Mom, I'm going to be 18 on Sunday. I said, your point being is? You were raised by a Portuguese mother. That means nothing in my book.
Good for you. Good for you, Maria. Well, they're 18. Like my son, he's 15 now. He's a man of the world. He's got so much experience, life experience. And Maria, what's on your mind? Go ahead.
So I wanted to say that I am so sick and tired of the Republicans walking around like they're walking around in eggshells. Enough. Pull your big boy pants on. Time to get off those diapers and pull up your pull-ups. Let's do this. You see these people are obviously breaking federal law. It's time for them to pay the consequences. I am so sick and tired of them tiptoeing. You know what? They call Trump a fascist. They call Trump this, a Nazi, all that. So what? They're going to call him whatever they want to call him, regardless of what he does. True American, true patriots that voted for him, like myself, know exactly what kind of man he is and what he's doing to protect Americans. I am so sick and tired of these people putting illegals first, and our rights are out the window. Pam Bonte, honey, call me. If you need someone to hold your hand through it, sweetheart, I will hold your hand through it. I will bring you my market basket bag so you can put all the handcuffs in the world you need in there. I will help you. You don't need to be afraid. Trump doesn't need to be afraid. Whoever is saying to him, don't do it because they're going to call you names. Guess what? They call you names already. Go for it. Full force ahead. Democrats do what they want. They don't care what the outcome is because they know there's never no consequences because the Republicans have no backbone. They'll just do what they want and nobody will ever get in trouble. Guess what? It's time for that tone to change. You are breaking federal law, you are going to jail. I don't care who you are. It's time to, like, full steam ahead. And these people in Congress waiting for that bill to wait until July, please, spare me. Vote now, do what you need to do. We Americans, we are struggling, working paycheck to paycheck. We cannot afford to go on vacations or do anything we want to do. And these people are going to sit on their behinds to wait until July? Give me a break. Do something. Be a true Republican and work for the people.
Maria, you're on fire. You're absolutely on fire. And, you know, just your point is dead on. Why do these judges, notice now, their rulings are getting more and more and more outrageous. Really, I mean, to the point it's almost laughable. Well, why? Because you're right. There are never any consequences. Whatever the Democrats do, the Republicans do nothing. Whatever these judges do, these rogue activist judges, the Republicans do nothing. So if there's going to be no consequences, they're just going to keep doing it. And in fact, look, we're talking about teenagers. You and I both have teenagers now. If there's no consequences for these teens, what are they going to do? They're going to do it more and more and more. They're going to get more brazen, more emboldened. That's why you got to lay down the law. I'm not saying you beat your children. I'm just saying, no, there are consequences. No, you do this. Listen, you're going to be in your room. No video games for you. I'm sorry. No electronics for you. No. What did you say to your mother? No, I want you to apologize. And you better do it now because you don't want me to get mad. So, in other words, start having these Democrats and these rogue activist judges pay a price. But if they're not going to pay a price, in fact, look, honestly, I'm not trying to, pour gasoline on the fire. Boasberg's a hero. Judge Boasberg is a hero on the left. I bet he's working on a memoir. This judge, she's cynical. To be this outrageous, to me, she's a shameless opportunist. She's saying, I want a book deal. Forget negative consequences. They look at this and say, who can be the biggest hero of la résistance, the resistance? And who's ever the guy that's the man or woman that's the most outlandish, the most outrageous, the most ridiculous, that's the one that gets the biggest book contract. So instead of having no consequences, they have an incentive. Hey, let me be the one that really obstructs him. You know what? You can't arrest him at all. Ever. Ha ha. Okay, where's my book deal? This has got to stop. Because no consequences means it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Maria, thank you very much for that call. I appreciate it. Dan in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Dan, and welcome.
Yes, Jeff.
Hi,
you're
Dan.
absolutely right about these corrupt judges, and you got to look at the 1630 Pact. It's linked, and it works hand in hand with Act Blue. Okay, this Act Blue thing, people got to understand. It funds corrupt Marxist, socialist, communist, Democrats, the corrupt media, so on and so on, Jeff. It's the corrupt judges. It's linked to corrupt judges. On top of it, okay, Jeff, these people, okay, are linked in. Things like Democracy Forward, okay, nonprofits, okay. I already talked about that. Mark Elias, John Podesta, you got Norm Elson with the Crew and State Democracy Defenders, okay. These NGOs, okay, also the judges are linked with the NGOs.
Bingo, you're right. And they're linked to Soros, who's funding these NGOs, and they're linked to the ACLU, which is judge shopping. Paul in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Paul, and welcome.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing this morning?
Very good. Very good. I mean, I feel sorry for the Border Patrol, but outside of that, Paul, I can't complain.
Okay, well, this is a little off topic, but maybe this might explain a lot. Would you say that this big, beautiful bill is probably the most important thing Trump's going to do, because once it passes with the tax cuts, along with the tariffs, all the people that are a little squeamish about the economy are going to say, wow, we're doing great. And so he'll be in good shape for the midterm. So this bill is absolutely essential. My second theory, Jeff, is that we've got a lot of squeamish Republicans. We've got a lot of Republicans that are probably on the Epstein list. And I think once the bill passes and Trump can put that in his pocket, he's got nothing to worry about. He can go nuclear. Because I think that's why Pam Bondi has been held back. I think Trump has told her, listen, just bide our time. And then once the bill's passed, they can let it rip. And by that I mean, if they need to expose John Roberts, they expose John Roberts. Who cares if there's a bunch of Republicans who are exposed? But right now, he can't take that kind of heat. So he's letting the judges have their day. And, oh, by the way, I don't know if you heard it on the news, at noontime, there's a public demonstration from the legal profession. Lawyers, judges, and clerks are all going to be at the Boston Common, non-partisan, to celebrate the law and how important is the rule of law. I find it ironic. What do you think?
Well, Paul, let me take the last one first, just very quickly. I'll bet anybody the best steak dinner at the steakhouse of their choice. When we hold our rally on May 17th, demanding the state audit of the legislature, of their budget, all of their spending, their programs, 72% of people in Massachusetts, the voters, passed ballot 1, and they are illegally, unconstitutionally refusing to comply. The governor, the attorney general, the House Speaker, the Senate president. We're going to have, I guarantee you, 5, 6, 7, 8 times the crowd size that they're going to have today. Look at how much media coverage this is going to get today in the local news compared to what we get. You're going to just see how in the tank the local media is for the Democrats and for the anti-Trump agenda. I mean, it's disgusting. But to your more salient point, look, there's no question this bill is the cornerstone of Trump's second term. Okay, there's no getting around it. It's a big, beautiful bill, meaning it's got everything. It's his tax cuts. It's his deregulation. It's his energy independence. It's, by the way, massive new amounts of money for the huge deportations. So they're going to have much more resources literally to deport millions and millions of illegals. So it's his entire agenda is going to be in that bill. And because right now, yes, they're doing as much as they can, as fast as they can. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the money. They don't have the resources. This bill is going to give Border Patrol and ICE all of the money, all of the personnel, all of the resources to return, deport millions and millions of illegals. So it's going to codify what Trump has been trying to do via executive order. And you're right, it's going to unleash an economic boom. And that's going to really set up Trump's tariffs, and that's going to set him up beautifully for the rest of his presidency. Now, as for let's wait till it passes, then we can get to the Epstein files, then we can unleash Pam Bondi. We'll see. I hope you're right. I want to be proven wrong. I have nothing against Pam Bondi personally. I supported the pick. I liked what she did in Florida. I'm sure in private she's a very nice person. We'll see. I mean, obviously, Paul, only time can tell. Only time will tell. I'm just giving you my sixth sense, my spider sense. I look at her face, I look at her eyes, and I see fear. Look at her face, I look at her eyes. She looks confused. She looks a little dazed. She's not certain. She doesn't know exactly what to do. And I think she's not the right person for the job. Now, we'll find out. But, I said I'd give her till the end of the summer. So July 4th is when they want to get this bill passed. So she'll have till the end of the summer, early fall. If she's not willing to put powerful, prominent Democrats and Republicans, frankly, in jail over the crimes that they've committed, we got to go with somebody else. We cannot have another Jeff Sessions or another Porterhouse Steak, another Bill Barr. We just can't. People have to go to jail. They have to pay a price. Final word to you, Paul.
I agree 110%. But the point is, she's a useful idiot right now. She smiles. She's not causing any problems. Believe me, after the bill's passed, all the things you want, if Trump doesn't do it, I'll be disappointed. But I think if she doesn't come around to doing what she needs to do, he'll boot her ass. That's it. And right now, he doesn't need the controversy. He's biding his time. It's all part of the bill. The bill is everything because the bill is the midterms.
The bill, I agree with you. In fact, I would even go further. No, you're right. No, Paul, you're right. Look, the bill is the midterms. I would say the bill is his presidency, to be honest. It's his presidency and it's his legacy. So I agree with you. He needs that bill. That bill is huge, huge, huge. I can't overstate it. It's huge. So we'll see. Now, look, Trump's made mistakes in the past. He admits it. Personnel in particular, that person didn't work out the way I thought. And what I like about him is he acknowledges a mistake, fires the person, and corrects it. 8:30 on the great WRKO. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer. 617-266-6868 is the number. Just very quickly, it's, a tempest in a teapot, really. But, so, the Kuhner man, I'm battling pneumonia, for God's sake. I'm taking antibiotics. I'm chugging a ton of water. You know how it is when you're sick, feverish. You feel like you're almost semi-conscious. I go, Mike, I just need a minute. Can I go to the restroom? This is Mike. He's like, no. I go, what do you mean, no, Mike? I just need 60 seconds. He goes, yeah, but my clock says we're going to be back on the air in 90 seconds. I go, Mike, 90 minus 60, hello? That still leaves us 30 seconds. This is Mike. Well, you tend to dilly-dally. Hey, Mike, are you still single? Well, Mike says, would I be wrong in that? Do you dilly-dally? No. Mike, are you still single? I'm just curious, because if you are, I think that judge in California, Jennifer Thurston, I think she's single as well, Mike. The thing, I may want to introduce the two of you. You may hit it off. 617. Mike says, I think I'll pass. Mike says, how much do you make as a judge? Mike, you wouldn't believe it. And how much you can steal? That's the big one, Mike. Don't just look at the salary, Mike. You're counting that into the salary. Mike, it's what you can take. That's where the real money is, Mike. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, a lot of reaction about Pam Bondi, so I want to be fair to the audience and to the listeners out there. This is from Mark on Messenger. Jeff, hear me out, please. You know I love you in a non-sexual way, my friend. Well, I love you too in a non-sexual way, Mark. And I rarely disagree with you, but I have to disagree on your judgment of Pam Bondi. If she's afraid to be public enemy number one, then yes, she is out of her league, and she needs to show that she's not afraid to arrest anyone that thinks they are above the law. And yes, I also find it very strange that there hasn't been one hit piece on her in the fake news media. And then he goes, with the emoji of the, scratching your chin. Why is that? 617-266-6868. to be brutally honest, not that I'm trying to cover up for Pam Bondi, to me, the one that really needs to step up is Roberts. Yes, I want Pam Bondi to stand up to this rogue judge. But the real culprit here, it's Roberts. He's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and he makes such a big deal about how he speaks for the judiciary and he speaks for judges. Remember the statement that he issued chastising Trump a couple months ago? Do you remember that? Where he publicly said, basically, don't you dare call their motivations into question. Don't you dare attack these judges. They're doing the best they can. They're here to do their job and follow the law. So he takes it upon himself to be the mouthpiece, the guardian, the chief spokesman for every judge in the entire system. Well, when your people start running wild, and this one is really running wild, Border Patrol cannot arrest any illegal aliens without a warrant? Are you mad? And notice, crickets. He doesn't say a word. So, to me, the person that's really got to step up is that phony and fraud Roberts. I'm saying Bondi as well. But Roberts is the one, because in the end, it's the judiciary's credibility that is being destroyed right in front of our eyes. Agree, disagree? Bill in Medfield. Thanks for holding, Bill, and welcome. Hello, Bill? All right, let's see if we can reconnect with Bill. Annie on the South Shore. Is it Ann or Annie? Ann on the South Shore. Thanks for holding, Ann, and welcome.
Jeff, it's Annie from the South Shore. That's
it's Annie.
It is. How are you?
That's what I was telling Mike. And he's got Ann on the board, and he's like, no, it's Ann. It's Ann. Oh, okay, Mike. All right, Annie, go ahead.
Jeff, we're going to have to put Mike in a judgeship. That's all I can say. I don't know what else to do with this. Jeff, I have to tell you, I have been listening, and you've been jamming with callers, and that's fabulous. But I am angry, and I'm beyond angry. I followed Pam Bondi for many, many years. I'm extremely disappointed in her, and I'm going to tell you why. And I have to tell you, Jeff, I love you dearly, but I disagree with you in this. Pam Bondi needs to do her job, and that means today. Do your job. I'm tired of her face being on Fox. Sean Hannity already plays house. As a matter of fact, I saw her on TV and I shut it off. Actions speak louder than words. These judges have gone rogue. They could take American citizens and put them in jail for almost 4 years. Where was somebody to protect them? The American people, American citizens have lost their rights in this country. I am outside, Jeff, cleaning up the junk and the mess that was left behind over the winter and getting rid of it. And that's where I stand right now. I'm sick and tired of these people. I wish we could do something to get rid of Roberts because he is corrupt. The Supreme Court of the United States of America is corrupt. Roberts isn't going to stand for anybody except for the Democrats and who's putting money in his bank account. I'm angry, Jeff. Something needs to be done, and I don't want to wait. Waiting and waiting and waiting for what? If you're afraid to do your job, get off the bench. And as far as the border goes, send the darn military down there and shut it down. And tell these judges you're going to jail. That's where I'm at, Jeff. What about you? Are you willing to sit more and longer?
No, I'm with you. I'm done. I think we've waited long enough. I think that, the 4 years under Biden was torture. And I think it stretched America to the breaking point. And I agree with you. I think it's time to, I think they've begun to send the military, but I would militarize the entire border. I would declare a national emergency. I would declare war against, literally, have a declaration of war in Congress against the Mexican drug cartels, against Trenda Aragua, against MS-13, against this entire border invasion. That's what I would do if I were Trump. And I would get the military involved in the greatest mass deportation in the history of the United States. I think it's really time. This is a crisis, and we have to address it as a crisis. I'm with you 1,000%. And furthermore, just to reinforce what you're saying, Annie, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, she's a strong Trump MAGA supporter, Congresswoman from Florida, has now come out against Pam Bondi publicly, and she's now demanding the release of the Epstein files. And Anna Paulina Luna has now openly said, this is the third time we have asked Pam Bondi, release the Epstein files. She's had it now for over 6 weeks. What are you sitting on? Now, you can claim redactions of victims. You don't want to mention the names of some of the victims. Okay, it takes maybe 3 days to redact all the names. Okay, a week, tops. Okay, let's say they work super slow. 2 weeks. It doesn't take a month, and it doesn't take 6 weeks. And what Anna Paulina Luna is openly saying now, and many Republicans in Congress are echoing it, there's a cover-up. There's a cover-up. They're not saying what some of the callers are saying, which is, oh, it's all timing, wait, they're going to wait to drop this after they pass the bill. No, what Republicans in Congress, people like Anna Paulina Luna, are saying is she doesn't want to release the names because it's going to blow up Washington. It's going to take down not just Democrats, it's going to take down Republicans. It may take down Justice Roberts. And she doesn't want that. She doesn't want that anchor around her neck. She doesn't want to be on the hook for the incredible blowback and the anger that this is going to cause. To which my response is, then fine, get somebody who will. You know the expression, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen? If she can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. So I want the Epstein files. Period. Full stop. I want the Epstein files. I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Anyway, that's just my position. Annie, as always, thank you very much for that call. 617-266-6868. How much time left, Mike? Okay. Quick reset. I want to take many more calls on the other side. A out-of-control, rogue activist judge, a far-left judge appointed by Biden, has now come out with an unbelievable ruling. She's issued an order barring Border Patrol agents, barring them from arresting illegal aliens, criminal, violent illegal aliens, it doesn't matter, all of them, if they don't have a warrant. Okay, a couple lines are open if you want to jump on. Let's go to Dan in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Dan, and welcome.
Hey, thanks for taking the call, Jeff.
My pleasure, Dan.
You know, Jeff, I'm sick and tired of the rules, regulations, and laws that I'm forced to live with every single day. Do you realize that my dog cannot run free, and if it does, and it gets caught, then they ask you for the medical records, they ask you for the reason why, they give you the riot act, the dog ends up, in the dog pound, the whole 9 yards, all the rules and regulations and laws that revolve around my business, the registration of my vehicles, company vehicles, the licenses that are all involved. I have to say, they say jump, I say how high. And I've been living like this my whole entire life by the rules. I'm a law-abiding citizen like all of the listeners. But then you get these judges, these rogue judges, who want to interpret the law the way that they do. Well, you know something, Jeff? I'm sick and tired about no recourse being done to them. They should go to jail. They should have their licenses and their ability to look over the law taken away from them. I'm telling you right now, Jeff,
We feed these people. We house these people. We medicate. We give them phones. We give them everything that we have to pay for. And I'm tired of this lopsided system that benefits them when you got somebody like you and me have worked all our lives scraping by and nobody's giving us a damn thing, and we better listen, and if we don't, we're going to get screwed. So why are the standards so high for everybody, including the liberals, so high that we have to follow them every day? Jeff, you know something? They're pushing for a purge. They're pushing for some kind of a social breakdown, some type of where people can't handle it anymore. Because you know something? No, everybody has to pay attention to the law. Even these judges, even all of these people coming into the country, we shouldn't be held to a standard that they're not being held to. And I'm sick and tired of having to work my life away, paying attention to every rule, law, and regulation, and listen to these people breaking the law every day, day in and day out. It's not fair. It's not right. And you know something? They're going to break down this country to the point of where, I hate to say it, a purge or something stupid like that, where everybody's going to pick a side. And then when the dust and the smoke clears, hey, I'd rather be a conservative when that happens, because when the dust clears and the smoke rises, I don't think the liberals are going to make out that well.
Well, you know, look, Dan, you're right. Look, this is the problem. We're living in a two-tier justice system, and the judges think they're above the law. And they're trying to make illegals, literally, they're trying to make illegals above the law. I've never seen anything like this. And, you know, you're right, Dan. Look, you have no idea how much I share your frustration and your anger. You have no idea. They're on my back about everything all the time. The federal government, the local government, the state government. Here, you don't want to know the check I had to cut just a couple days ago to Rentham, to my local town, for my property taxes this year. You don't want to know. Now, I've got a couple acres of land. I got a small yard, and behind it are acres of land. They won't let me touch it. It's technically my land. They tax me for it. But conservation says, I'm not kidding, I think there's some kind of a pond in there. I don't know what the hell they have in there, but this is, no, you can't touch this. Oh, no, you can't. I'm not kidding. I can't cut down a tree. I can't do anything. I don't even think my kids can play there. So I've got conservation breathing down my neck. They're always like, whoa, is that a branch? Did you guys cut down that branch? We're not touching anything. Blank off. Get a life. Seriously, man. Go, I don't know, go harass somebody that's actually committing a crime. So I can't touch my conservation land behind me. They give me one garbage bag. That's it. That they pick up. After that, I got to pay for these purple garbage bags at either the Stop and Shop or your local grocery store, Big Y, wherever. And I think what is it now? $10, $12 for 3 bags, whatever it is. So if I want more than one garbage bag, guess what? I got to pay for it. I've got recycling where I don't know why they can't come once a week. It's once every 2 weeks. So, but they recycle everything. So after a week, my blue bin is full. So what do I got with the rest? I got to put it into the other garbage bags, the purple bags that I got to keep paying for. So I'm paying all of this money in my taxes. The roads suck. Okay? The roads suck. I can't enjoy the conservation land behind me. I can't even get full garbage pickup. I mean, God forbid you should pick up 2 garbage bags instead of 1. No, I got to pay for that even. I can't even get once a week to recycle my blue bin. So what am I paying you for? I'm paying all of this money. What am I paying you for? And they're all making nice salaries, cushy jobs. Long lunches, every holiday under the sun, full benefits. Now, there's going to be a time where people like me, people like you, Dan, we're going to say, enough is enough. You can't take blood from a stone. You can't. And I believe we're very close. We are very, very close to that time, to that breaking point. And you add illegals now? Here, I don't want to go local, but let's go local for a couple seconds. Maura Healey just gave them another $700 million for housing. $700 million more for housing. You want to know how bad it is? Here it is. Every illegal family now in Massachusetts, courtesy of you and me, this was just passed, $25,000 a year for housing. Okay, over $2,000 a month, either subsidized housing or rent, whatever they want to do with it. And it's renewable year after year. So we're going to be paying for illegals' homes or where they rent or where they stay, potentially ad infinitum, forever. Forever. Now, you would think this should be front page. This should be the biggest story in the Commonwealth. Can the taxpayers continue to subsidize and pay for free illegal aliens getting $25,000 every year to help pay for their rent or their housing and automatically renewed? Nothing. Nothing. And I'll tell you why why they won't cover it. Because then the peasants like you and me are going to say, where's all our money going? How can they be doing this? They're basically stealing our money and giving it to people who have no right to be in our state. And they know it's going to lead to a massive tax revolt and a massive popular backlash. And so they lie. Or in this case, they just don't cover it. It's a blackout. Now, I'm just going to say this. I don't want to keep plugging the rally. But we're going to have a mother rally Saturday, May 17th at the steps of the State House. We're going to demand that they open up the books, that they adhere to the voter passed ballot initiative, a mandate by the voters to have an independent state audit that Healy is blocking, Andrea Campbell, the state AG, is blocking, that Ron Mariano, that crook, the House Speaker, is blocking, and Karen Spilka is blocking the Senate President. What they're doing is lawless, it's illegal, it's unconstitutional, they're stonewalling their corruption. They don't want their corruption and the misuse of our money to be exposed. You got to show up. I can do everything I can, and I promise I will, but people have to show up. It's your money. How much longer are you going to let them steal it? And so they have to see our teeth, our political teeth, our economic teeth. Hey, you know what? The natives are getting restless. Guys, whoa. Look at that crowd out there. And we have to start demanding accountability and transparency. And so, to me, that's the issue. The issue is who rules. And what I'm really telling you is happening, and this is very dangerous, is that the politicians now believe they're above the law. Democrats in particular now, they fear nothing. These judges fear nothing. These illegals fear nothing. Here, I'll just play a cut. Okay? Watch. Now, again, they're going on about this Kilmar Abrego Garcia. With all the problems in our country, my God, everything that's happening, they're going on about this gangbanger. Again, a citizen, this Maryland man. No, he's a citizen of El Salvador. He's a criminal, illegal alien. He's a human trafficker and a wife beater. And he's a gang member. And he's been notified as a gang member and identified by multiple judges in multiple immigration courts, including by other MS-13 gang members, including by undercover informants. And we've got his knuckles tattooed with the MS-13. Now, listen to this. That's not true. It's photoshopped. That's the latest crazy conspiracy theory from the media. You know, the ones that gave us Russia, Russia, Russia. Listen to this. So, ABC News, Terry Moran, as many of you call him, from ABC. Moran now, he's got the President of the United States, exclusive newsmaker interview. And can I just say this? After what ABC did during that presidential debate, how they so nakedly rigged it against Trump, I don't know why you would give ABC News a sit-down interview, but it's up to Trump. You know, I don't know. He wants to work the media the way he wants to work the media. I wouldn't give him the back of my hand. Okay? I wipe my rear end with ABC News, frankly. But that's up to him. Okay? That's up to him. Of all the questions to ask the president, I don't know, inflation, the bill in Congress, the war in Ukraine, I could go on and on and on and on. Everything affecting this country. This is what he asks him about. Roll cut 13. Mike.
And now the Supreme Court has upheld an order that you must return him facilitate his return to the United States. What are you doing to comply?
Well, the lawyer that said it was a mistake was here a long time, was not appointed by us, should not have said that, and just so you understand, the person that you're talking about, you know, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying...
Now, by the way, the audio doesn't quite do it justice. Think a guy with his eyes, bulging out of his sockets. That's Terry Moran. Okay? He's got these blue eyes, and they're going to pop out of his skull. Like he's like what? Like his eyes are like a beetle, like wide open, and his facial expressions like we're talking about the Holocaust. You know, it's like how could you let 6 million Jews go to the gas chambers? And his eyes are going to pop out of his socket. So his eyes are out of his socket. He's making these crazy facial expressions, like he's just so, like he's mouth wide open, like he's so outraged. And then he's like, no, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but damn it, there's due process. Roll cut 13A. A Mike.
He's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands,
He came into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has ordered you.
Okay. No, the court has not ordered you. That's another lie. But the bigger issue is, you're going to order the President of the United States of America? Look at it. Pick up the phone now. Pick up the phone now. Call El Salvador. Pick up the phone now. So just stand back for a second. I got news for the left, and I've got news for the media. The days of Yankee imperialism like you saw in the 19th century are over. They're over. So the Yankee imperialist is going to pick up the phone. Listen to this. And call the president of El Salvador, whose entire presidency and mandate is based upon him putting gangbangers and MS-13 in jail. And he's going to order Bukele, the president of El Salvador. Yeah, he may be your citizen. He's not ours, but he's yours. I'm going to order you to send your citizen back to the United States. Oh, so by the way, so we can deport him again back to you. Like, we're going to play ping pong with this guy. Okay, he's with you, he's with us, he's back with you, he's back with us. Okay, now he's back in your court. Do you see how insane this is? Now, but Moran won't let it go. So now, listen to this. Now it's, and by the way, those knuckles, that was photoshopped. Those aren't his tattoo. Those aren't MS-13 tattoos. That was photoshopped. Trump is, at this point, he's astounded. He's like, what? Roll cut 14. Mike.
Murderers, criminals in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it. And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Seriously. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So Trump now at this point, he's just, whoa. Trump can't believe it. Trump is, I mean, he's stunned. He's shocked. His mouth, literally, it was wide open. His jaw dropped. Physically, you can't see it because it's the audio. He's like looking at him like, are you serious? Roll cut 14A, Mike.
So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry. Hey, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Don't look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No.
So now it was Photoshopped. Well, look, hey, he may have tattoos and it could be MS-13. Hey, look, I'm not an expert. Okay, let's move on. Trump won't let it go. And he's right not to let it go. Roll cut 14B. Mike.
He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're
there in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't
sir.
you just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
That's what I mean. Like, why lie like this? Why lie like this? Now, you want to see what the media is doing? If you want to see this cunning trick, and this is like from the old Soviet Union. You want to talk about these disgusting propaganda techniques. So, this Abrego Garcia's got the knuckles, and it's got MS-13 tattooed on the knuckles. Now, the White House sent out a picture with chatter on top of the knuckles where they point with an arrow what each letter means and what each number means. Yeah, they're symbols. So they're like, look, on top, imagine a picture. You see the tattoos on the knuckle, and then on top of it, they got arrows saying, okay, this means M, this means S, this means -1-3. And these idiots are like, oh, that's Photoshopped. Well, they're trying to describe to you and identify for you what the signs on the knuckles mean, you stupid idiot. And then all of a sudden, they're not there in El Salvador. Well, they were certainly there when Chris Van Hollen was talking to him, because you can clearly see it on his knuckles. A genius. So they're literally lying about what the entire world can obviously see. Now, MS-13 says he's MS-13. Undercover police say he's MS-13. 2 judges in 2 different immigration courts say he's MS-13. I don't know, man. Walk like a duck, talk like a duck, quack like a duck. I think you're a duck. His wife certainly thinks he's MS-13. He punched her face through a wall multiple times and said, please, please, please don't arrest him. Please, he's MS-13. The children that she's had with another man, the other man told the police he's MS-13. Now, my point is just this. Terry Moron, with all the problems we face in the world, this is your cause célèbre? This is what you ask the president of the United, and you won't let it go? We're going to have, you want to, again, by the way, how many times does this guy have to be, how many trials does he get? How many times does he get to be deported? Because he's been ordered deported now multiple times. So we're going to paralyze the country. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's Bulldozer, 617-266-6868 is the number. John in Lowell. Thanks for holding, John, and welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Hi, John.
Jeff, I'm hoping beyond hope. There's one person I can trust out there. It's Dan Ball. Never caught him in a lie. He said arrests are coming. So what I'm thinking is happening is they're slow rolling this to out these judges. Because the more of them we can put in the basket, Jeff, we can get rid of them all at once.
John, I dropped the mic. I hope you're right. I pray you're right. So the thing is, though, look, I know Dan Bongino's a straight shooter, and I know he's a serious man, and he's a patriot, but he is deputy FBI director. What I mean by that is he answers to a boss, and his boss answers to another boss. So he may have the intention to do it. He may want to do it. He may be planning to do it. He just may not have the power to do it. John, final word to you, my friend.
I don't think he would say it, Jeff. He's not that kind of guy. He's already talked to Cash. He knows what's going on. You know, and Jeff, I was right about something else. Remember a while back when I said they're not releasing the Epstein files because it's everywhere?
Yes.
And now Congress is, Jeff, if there's one thing, and this is what gets me through life, Jeff, my instincts. When something tells me something, and I'm not bragging or anything like that, it's a God-given gift. 9 times out of 10, I'm on the money, Jeff.
John, what is it about the Epstein files that makes you so convinced that it's never going to see the light of day?
Because, Jeff, if it was all Democrats or the majority of Democrats, why wouldn't the Republican Party be all over this? They could destroy them, Jeff. You're accused of molesting children. And they are children, Jeff. There's none of this. You're under 18. You're a child. Period. Full stop, Jeff. Right? You're a child till you're 26 in this state, remember?
Yes. No, you're right.
Okay, so here's the hypocrisy again. Jeff, once you're accused of that and proven guilty, you can't turn around and say, yeah, but you did this. You've been stealing money. No one. Your word is gone. Gone. So there's no other reason, Jeff, than there's too many of them involved, too.
You think this is going to destroy too many Republicans as well?
A couple of months ago to you. It's exactly what I said to you a couple of months ago.
No, I know. I'm just fleshing it out even a little bit more. But you think with these judges, you think you're going to see Bondi, Patel, and Bongino, eventually they're going to have to make a move, and you believe they will make a move?
Jeff, they know how pissed off we are. We're not going to vote for them anymore either. That will be a constitutional crisis. Jeff, unless they're trying to start a civil war, and that's my sneaky suspicion so far, too. If they don't listen to us, Jeff, here's the problem. Trump's one man fighting. The Republicans aren't fighting. What are we doing, Jeff? We're back to our old ways. But I have to go to work. I can't go to a rally. Well, you know what? You're not going to have a job if you don't go to a rally. You're not going to have a country if you don't keep fighting and take that time out of your so-called busy life where you can go to Laconia for a weekend, or you could fly here and fly there, and I got my kid's baseball game and blah, blah, blah. Jeff, there's no sacrifice anymore. Look what our forefathers did. They sacrificed everything, Jeff. Farmers came out of the woods. Let's go get them. You can't get people out of their Cadillac Escalade to go to a rally, Jeff. There's no air conditioning in front of City Hall. Are you kidding me?
John, drop the mic. Mike, this could be caller of the week, my friend. This could be it right here. John, thank you very much for that call. Steps of the State House, to be just slight correction there, but otherwise perfect. May 17th again, Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon. It's going to be at the steps of the State House, right in front of the Boston Common. I will be emceeing. I will be speaking. We are going to rock them to their very foundations. And what's becoming obvious is that so much of the money now and flowing in the budget is going towards politicians who are stealing it and to the illegals. And I believe part of the reason why they don't want to do the state audit, it's not the only reason, but it's like Doge. We're finding out now how much of our federal money has been going towards illegals. I think people are going to be shocked. What we've been reading about, the billions of dollars for the shelters and the free meals, the catered meals, and the free, the free healthcare, the free education, I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. So when people start to see how much of our money has been going into the pockets of these illegals and NGOs and all kinds of organizations and firms directly tied to the Democrats and to the leadership, and how many kickbacks are involved and bribery and corruption, it is going to blow people's mind. And that's why they don't want an audit. All but 6 Republicans in the state legislature voted for the House budget. That's $61 billion pork-fest, a bloated, corrupt budget. Most Republicans voted for the Democrats' budget. So there you go. Everybody now is gorging, and they're like pigs. They're all gorging at the trough, with the exception of a few, obviously. 617-266-6868. And their fear is, if we have a Massachusetts Doge, which is what this state audit essentially is, if the books are opened up, the pigs could get slaughtered. And pigs don't want to get slaughtered. They want to keep eating and eating and eating. Okay, the battle lines are now being drawn between MAGA Republicans in Congress, led by Anna Paulina Luna and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. So just very quickly, because this is a big story and it's a developing story. Anna Paulina Luna, Congresswoman from Florida, is the chairwoman of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. She has now, she's intensifying her demands. She's already asked Attorney General Pam Bondi twice. You've had it now for months. Please release the Epstein list. Now she's asking again a third time. And there is a prominent, high-profile whistleblower. She was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein and Prince Andrew, who recently allegedly committed suicide. Virginia Giuffre, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. And her family has now come out and said this was not suicide. She was murdered. Personally, I don't think she committed suicide. I think she was murdered. Just like I don't believe Epstein committed suicide, I believe Epstein was murdered. And so Anna Paulina Luna, and apparently now there's another witness who has died under very mysterious circumstances. And so this is what she wrote on X directly to Pam Bondi. Quote, 2 Epstein victims are now dead. Every day that the Department of Justice delays releasing the Epstein client list, public trust erodes and more lives are put at risk. I am calling on the DOJ and Attorney General Pam Bondi to act immediately. Release the files. The American people deserve the truth. Now, what is clear, and this is why this letter has gotten so much attention, is that it follows the absolutely shocking, and as I said, very suspicious death of Virginia Giuffre. She was one of the most high-profile accusers. You even see pictures of her. She was clearly underage, of Jeffrey Epstein, and with some of his very notorious clients. Her father has now come out and said she was killed. He goes, I'm telling you, I know my daughter. She was not suicidal. Her family has now come out and said, we knew her. We knew her all the way up until the end. This was not a suicide. And so the longer this goes on, the more potential witnesses and whistleblowers could be dying, having mysterious deaths. Suddenly there are, a la the Clintons, there are suicides everywhere. And that's one of many reasons. Release the Epstein list. Release it and let the chips fall where they may. 617-266-6868. Agree, disagree. And the question is, what is Pam Bondi afraid of? Or do you believe Dan Bongino, that they're just getting their ducks in a row, waiting for all the confirmations to take place, waiting for the big, beautiful bill to pass, so they got all their ducks in a row, and then the arrests will come? Is it just a waiting game? Or is Bondi afraid or hiding something? That is the question. Gardner in New Hampshire. Thanks for holding, Gardner, and welcome.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for taking the call. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And you bet. Feel better soon. It's been interesting hearing you battle. You're a real tough guy. I just wanted to mention to you, I think I mentioned to you once before, I teach political philosophy and economics and ethics to students. And I would be very interested, I was just thinking about it this morning listening to you. I'd be very interested to see if you were to be able to talk to my students, what portion of the Constitution would you cite for the federal authority and enumerated power for the feds to handle immigration? Where is it in the
14th Amendment. It's right there in the 14th
Amendment.
The what?
The 14th Amendment. The
14th Amendment. It gives the naturalization to Congress. It says that naturalization falls solely and only to Congress. And if you notice throughout our history, naturalization, and that's the term they used for immigration, was not immigration, it was naturalization. And naturalization, if you remember, Congress set the quotas. Congress would determine how many people were allowed to come in. In fact, in several immigration laws, they banned immigration specifically from certain countries, and other countries they allowed. Some countries higher levels, other countries lower levels. They tended to encourage immigration more from Northern Europe and Western Europe over Southern and Eastern Europe. So they set the quotas, and they didn't just set the quotas, they also set the standards by what, in terms of admitting or not admitting certain people coming in. And so clearly the Constitution vests it in Congress. Hence the federal government.
You say the difference is between naturalization, how one becomes a citizen, which is a word in the Constitution, and immigration, which is to be here as a non-citizen, and that word is not in the Constitution.
Well, yeah, but naturalization refers to people who come into your country and you put them on a path
and want to become citizens.
Yeah, who want to become citizens. And I can just tell you, in practice, we have been deporting people ever since we're a republic. I mean, it's every country has done it. There's nothing new about the United States. So in terms of lawfully entering our country, it's through Congress. It's through naturalization. So, I mean, that's the way we've always done it. Frankly, that's the way every other country in the world's done it. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, we can go back and forth if you want to debate naturalization, immigration. The fact of the matter is we're not even talking about U.S. citizens. We're not talking about green, because look, immigration has evolved. Immigration has changed. Immigration, we have different categories. So, for example, in the 18th, 19th century, we didn't have quote-unquote work visas, right? That's a modern creation. So, we didn't have different types of visas, student visas. We never had that. So that something was developed over time with the rise of the universities, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm saying is we've developed a very sophisticated system of immigration, which is fine. Every other country has as well. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about someone here who is not an American, but on a student visa. Or, look, I was on a student visa when I studied at Ohio University to do my doctoral work. Of course, some aspects of the Constitution applied to me. Of course. I had a right to a lawyer if I was arrested. I had the right to freedom of speech. But I was also very conscious, and there's a common sense. A lot of it's just common sense. I'm not going to create a violent protest on campus. Why? Because I'm an invited guest into the United States. I mean, I always felt that and so did other foreign students as well, to be fair. This is very new. Foreign students just rampaging on a campus because they don't like what's happening in Gaza with Israel. You don't have the right to attack other students, harass other students, occupy buildings, hold janitors and kidnap them, call for the death and murder of, Jewish people. You're here as an invited guest into the United States. Now, you have some rights, you have some privileges, of course. We're a civilized free country. But those are rights and privileges that we bestow upon you, upon the understanding that you will not engage in illegal, unlawful behavior. Once you engage in illegal, unlawful behavior, you're out. To me, I'm sorry, I don't see the argument. You're not a citizen. You're not even a legal resident. You're here on a visa. But we're not even talking about that. You're talking about, let's just take Abrego Garcia, an illegal alien who is part of a transnational criminal gang that is one of the most brutal and notorious in the Western Hemisphere, that has been designated by our government as a foreign terrorist organization, who was caught red-handed trafficking human beings, who beats his wife, beats his children, and when arrested, said, I'm not afraid to go back to Central America. Okay. 617-266-6868 is the number. Okay, like we talked about a little bit earlier in the show, but here it is. I won't mention this person's name to protect their anonymity, but I received an email. Let me see here, about 13 minutes ago. Jeff, I am an attorney in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And I don't know if you're aware of this. Actually, I am, but this person continues. But there is a rally today at the Boston Common Bandstand for lawyers and judges to quote-unquote reaffirm their allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Massachusetts, so constitutions, and to support the quote-unquote rule of law against the Trump administration. I will keep this brief, but where the hell were all these holier-than-thou liberals when the Biden administration spied on U.S. citizens, infiltrated Trump's White House, raided Mar-a-Lago, engaged in the worst lawfare that the country has ever seen against Trump, and unconstitutionally jailed American citizens for strolling through the Capitol? These people are disgusting human beings. Yep. Yeah. You're dead on. And you watch, okay? A couple dozen of them are going to show up. And because of that, wall to wall, it's going to be saturation media coverage. Channel 4, Channel 5, 7, 10, 25, WGBH, NP. I mean, they're all going to be there. The Globe, the Herald. It's going to be everywhere. We're going to bring in thousands, God willing, Saturday, May 17th. What? Rally? What? What's going on? What? That's how pathetic and corrupt this state is. But we're going to change it. I'm telling you, we're going to change it. 617-266-6868. Just on the J6ers alone. How many J6ers were put in isolation, put in an actual gulag, in solitary confinement, no due process whatsoever, no charges, nothing, no right to see their lawyer, nothing. And these are American citizens. One of them I met at the last rally. You know why she went in? The police invited her in, and she went in because she had to go to the bathroom. She was waiting for Trump to speak and others to speak. And the woman said after 3 hours, I had to go. So literally, she goes, I went in, the police invited me in. I said, where's the restroom? They pointed me to the restroom. The woman went to the restroom. Okay? 2 minutes in the toilet. She left. Domestic terrorist. Insurrectionist. Prison. No due process. None whatsoever. But Kilmar Abrego Garcia, they cry for. 617-266-6868. Bob in Malden. Thanks for holding, Bob, and welcome.
This is a bulldozer.
Bob, how are you?
Not doing too bad. I need you to straighten me out on something.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out how this ignorant liar that we have for a president gives all his money to the rich and the poor get crabs. I'm trying to figure that one out. Maybe you could help me.
How Trump is giving all this money to the rich and poor people like us get nothing?
You got it.
What money is he giving to the rich, Bob?
I don't know, but they're getting richer by the minute, and we're getting crabs on ice cream.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen Wall Street? They're not happy. They're saying they're losing money.
Losing money. To hell with Wall Street. He's giving the stuff to the rich, brother. The rich.
Well, yeah. Isn't Wall Street the rich?
Well, it is, but these other slime are getting the money.
Well, like, who else is getting the money? Can you name me somebody?
That fat pig that works with Trump.
The fat pig that works... Are you talking about Elon Musk? He's lost money. Have you seen the shares of Tesla lately? He keeps losing money. By the way, Bob, I think it's a little too early in the morning for the drinky. If you're going to booze it up, start after 5.